Today we are going to be making this delicious Tokyo Ghoul inspired drink. It's classy, it's a little sweet, and above all, it is delicious. What's going on, guys? I'm Spoons, and you may have seen your favorite anime, but have you ever drank your favorite anime? That is a terrible intro. So Tokyo Ghoul, for those of you who have not seen it or who are just here for the alcohol, is an anime about a group of mutated humans called ghouls that can only survive through eating the flesh of humans. Now, there are some more sophisticated ghouls who ethically source their human meat as best one can, and they grind it up into these nice little sugary pellets that they then put in coffee, so they don't actually have to wholesale eat a man. You can just kind of sip some man fluids. That's gross when you put it that way, though. But there is an air of elegance to all of this gross gore. So we have a few elements to play with here in this drink. We've got the elegance, we've got the coffee, and we've got the blood. Now, when I think elegance and class, the first drink for me that comes to mind is an old-fashioned. This drink is a favorite of old wealthy men and poor anime YouTubers. It's a very simple drink. There's only 3 components in a traditional old-fashioned, and that's gonna be either a cube of sugar or some simple syrup, Angostura bitters, and whiskey. There's some debate as to which type is best. Most of the time it's going to be bourbon, but really, it doesn't matter, whiskey. Now, for the whiskey, given that this is a Tokyo Ghoul, I have opted to use a Japanese whiskey. This is Tenjaku. It is smooth, it is delicious, and it's good. So that's going to be the basis of this drink, but this is different enough from an old-fashioned that if you were to serve this to someone at the bar and tell them that it's an old-fashioned, they would hit you. So the next element is the coffee flavor, and to get that we are going to be using coffee liqueur. I'm using Kahlua today. Kahlua is fairly sweet on its own, so there is going to be a little bit more sweetness to this drink. Now lastly, we have the blood element, and I do want this drink to have kind of a red hue to it. So we're going to be swapping out the Angostura bitters for Peychaud's bitters, which have a little bit more of a red hint to them, and actually in my testing, I found that the Peychaud's bitters just taste better in this drink than the Angostura. Also, fun fact, I don't even use Angostura bitters in my own old fashions. I always use orange bitters, just a personal preference. And lastly, we're going to be using grenadine in place of simple syrup. Now, grenadine is a cherry and pomegranate type of syrup. Very good flavor, fairly strong. So I would say use sparingly, but there's gonna be a little bit of a line to toe here because we're gonna have to use a decent amount of this for this drink. Because one of the goals here is actually gonna be to turn the ice in the drink red. So without further nonsense and babbling, let's just go ahead and make this drink. So we're going to be building this drink directly in the glass, and we're going to start out with about 2 teaspoons of grenadine. You can just kind of eyeball that measurement if you don't have a bar spoon on hand. After that, we're going to add 2 dashes of our Peychaud's bitters, and then we're going to add 1 ounce of our coffee liqueur. We're gonna add 2 ounces now of our whiskey, whichever whiskey you chose to use for this. And now for the fun part, we're gonna take our cube of ice and we're gonna just slowly pour some grenadine over the top of it. And the goal here is to kind of give that ice cube a little bit of a red tint as it sits in the glass. So you don't want to go too overboard and oversaturate the drink with grenadine. Once you've got that, we're just going to give it a little stir here. And if you don't like that whiskey forward flavor quite as much, you can add about another teaspoon or 2 of water. And there we have it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Tokyo Ghoul. Very creative names, I know. So let's have a sip and see what we're tasting here. That is terribly smooth. You know, it's still whiskey forward like an old fashioned, but it doesn't feel like it's just watered down whiskey in the way that some old fashions do, improperly prepared old fashions. I've also tried this drink with various bourbons, mostly cheap stuff, Evan Williams. And I gotta say, even aside from the quality jump between like an Evan Williams and the Tenjaku, using the Japanese whiskey here is a really good call just because it is a lot smoother, but it's still very flavorful. And the coffee notes from the Kahlua really blend in well with the whiskey. see. It's very balanced, and the grenadine isn't overpowering so long as you don't overdo it. My first iteration of this had a lot more grenadine. Don't do that. But this is really just a delightful drink to sip on. If you're going to be sitting down watching something and you're not trying to just kill yourself with the alcohol, trying to take it slow, this is the perfect drink for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you end up making this, let me know how it was down in the comments. And if you have your own ideas for any sort of cocktails or any anime that you would like me to make a cocktail based on, go ahead and hit me up down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to give it a shot. Thanks to all of you who came back. I know that I've been away for a while, but hopefully I'm sticking around for a little bit longer this time. If you liked the video, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get updates every time I do a new video. And until next time, I've been Spoons, and thank you for watching.